Blessings, family. Oh man, blessings. I think I'm actually going to sit for a few minutes, share this message with you all. Where do I even start? So, I saw the doctor on Monday. Today's Thursday. I saw the doctor on Monday. I just started taking birth control to help me balance my hormones. Obviously, I've been sharing on here in regards to endometriosis and how I have really been going through it physically and mentally. I had a therapy session today. So many beautiful changes in my life and so many areas of my life that I am being encouraged to have an open heart and an open mind and to release. There's a lot of things that I need to continuously release, that I get to continuously release. I had a beautiful conversation just now with my neighbors. Love is really present. They've been praying for me as I've been praying for them and, their move. There's so much to share, and also I want to say this. Whether you are, whatever dynamic of the relationship, be it if you are with someone romantically, if you're in a friendship, if it's with your parents, if it's with your children, if it's with your coworkers, if it's however, and you know that you have been going through some stuff and you have not been the greatest and kindest version of yourself to those people, it is very, very important that you take full accountability for your choices, for your actions, and do the absolute best that you can to rectify that behavior. And when it comes up again, acknowledge it and communicate. Something I was reminded of today, two things. One, I know and I speak about quite often, which is grace. And also, I needed that reminder today for myself, because I can be very hard on myself. I had that reminder today that grace is truly sufficient. It don't matter what the situation or circumstance is, grace is sufficient. And that doesn't mean that we're not held accountable and responsible for our actions, for our behaviors, for our reactions, for our responses. And also it means that we get to go at it again. So I'm grateful for grace, number one. Number two, I was reminded about compassion. And, I had a beautiful therapy session today. I asked her, I said, do you ever feel like, now I see a spiritual practitioner. So she does have a degree in psychology. However, it's a spiritual psychology. So she has she's not a psychiatrist. And so our space is very different than anything that I've ever done before. I've only ever seen mental health professionals. So with that being said, it's more beneficial that I could ever express and explain to you. It's one of the safest spaces that I have ever been able to share in. And she reminded me about compassion because I asked her, she's a reverend, and I asked her, I said, do you ever feel like you're such a bright light for the people that you are serving, and the people that come to you for guidance and support? Do you ever feel like you can give this support and be this light and be this inspiration. And sometimes when you need it yourself, you don't know how to access your own light. And she said to me, Rachel, more than I can say. And I know that, right? Like I intellectually know that everybody goes through stuff. And the mind will sometimes tell me that my life somehow is supposed to be easier because of my relationship with spirit, or because of the way that I have chosen to live my life. And the fact of life is that I'm still very much going to experience all aspects and facets of life, however that looks. And the beautiful part about it is that I get to keep learning. I get to keep learning about myself, about the human conditioning, about love, about grace, about joy. And there's no stop to that learning. There's no stop to that learning. Not only is there no stop to that learning, there's no evolution if we're not growing. If life isn't continuously expressing itself, then it's withering. And there's even beauty in the withering. So all of that to say, I get to be compassionate with myself first. I get to be forgiving of myself first. I get to be pouring into myself first. I get to be looking in the mirror and remembering that I am light, that I am made of love. And it's often so easy for us as human beings to pour and pour and pour and give that to everybody else. But then when it comes to ourselves, we want to blame ourselves. Hello. We want to put the emphasis of self-imposed judgment and scold ourselves. Well, that never got me anywhere. And I heard something recently that really opened me up to something, which is, if you think sharing your pain is vulnerable, try sharing your light. If you think sharing your pain and your suffering is vulnerable, try sharing your light. You know how many more people want to connect with your pain and your darkness than your light? Because we have grown so accustomed to living in pain and suffering. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to share my pain and suffering. What I am saying is that I'm going to share my light as well. I'm going to share my light more. I'm going to share my revelations and my epiphanies and my joys more. Hello. I'm going to share my joy. That's what I used to do as a child. And I remember it. I remember how much joy it brought me to see other people smile, to see other people light up when I said hello to them. That's all I got for y'all. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day.